How to manage anger. There are humors that ABS CBN will be closed on March 2020, what can you say? I know that you are upset because you cannot see Cardo Dali Sai anymore. If the closure of the station will take effect, before I will start, please condition your mind and listen to this presentation. Anger is an emotion experienced by kids and adults alike. When something or someone interferes with an individual in a negative manner, it can cause them to become angry. Anger is a normal response to such a situation. However, anger can be classed as mild or intense irritation. Depending on the individual, the circumstance and their emotions, anger may cause a person to become enraged or even furious. People who become angry behave in different ways. Some lash out or become extremely defensive. Other people tend to keep their anger to themselves, bottling up their negative emotions and hurt. While some people become reckless and even abusive. Anger can be a terribly harmful emotion if it isn't controlled. Controlling anger is considered anger management. The first step to controlling anger issues is to admit there is a problem. Some people have major anger issues but cannot see it. Naturally, something happens to set a person off, making them angry. Individuals, who have trouble admitting to their anger and accepting responsibility for their actions, often play the blame game. They have difficulty seeing the situation as being their fault. There's always something or someone to blame. Their fits of anger are always blamed on something else. These people could really use a few lessons in anger management. However, they need to accept their actions and reactions for what they are, anger. Many people who have anger issues find it demeaning when anger management is suggested. Unable to accept their problem prevents them from seeking the help they require. If a person continues down a path where they are constantly angry and acting out, it will eventually cause major problems. Without anger management, this individual will likely experience loss of their family, loss of their job and loss of their own identity. It is essential to convince the person with anger problems, anger management is not meant to be a punishment but rather to help them have a better quality of life. Anger management is designed to help the individual work out their problems, help them figure out why they become so angry. It also teaches the person not to be enslaved by their emotions, their anger. Anger management is meant to teach the person techniques that prevent them from getting angry as often or for very long. There are all sorts of anger management strategies. There are programs created specifically to help those with anger issues. These programs are broken down to address different people, kids, teens, adults, couples, and families. These anger management programs are in place to teach or help people to work on their anger. Teaching people strategies for working out their problems and controlling their anger are important in anger management. Anger may be a healthy, normal emotion, but when the anger takes over an individual's life, making them destructive and violent, it's a big problem. Not only does the anger destroy the individual, but it also impacts everyone and everything around them. Anger management could change this individual and ensure a healthy, normal life. The teenage years are crucial in the growth of children. Unfortunately, these are the years where children experience some of their most challenging encounters. This particular period in a child's life can take them down many paths, some of them not so pleasant. Teen children who are forced to deal with upsetting circumstances often lash out. Developing a reckless attitude is common in many teen children. When teens turn to emotions of anger and begin to act out, it might be time to seek anger management for teen children. As a teenager, trying to cope with the diverse situations which continuously present themselves can be emotionally strenuous. This strain unleashes many thoughts and feelings including anger. Anger is a natural response when somebody pushes a person's buttons. However, what the person chooses to do with those feelings makes the difference. Anger management for teen children teaches self-awareness and self-control. Anger is an extremely powerful emotion. If dealt with incorrectly, anger can cause actions or reactions which are very hurtful and painful. Learning to deal with these emotions at a young age will definitely affect adult life. It is essential to seek anger management for teen children when there is evidence of anger issues. Handling anger is all about empowerment, being capable of accessing the situation and making positive decisions rather than acting on impulse. It is easy to lash out at the first sign of opposition, but it takes self-control to act in a sensible and logical manner. This may seem to be a lot to expect of teen children, but if approached in the right way, it can be accomplished. This may require one-on-one counseling, support group meetings, or attending a retreat for teens with anger problems. The method for success is important, however, the end result is what really matters. Teaching a teenager self-awareness as part of anger management for teen children requires teaching the individual that they have the ability to evaluate situations that make them angry. Encouraging the teen to take notice of their feelings during irritating incidents is essential in anger management for teen children. Helping them to understand the importance of thinking during an actual confrontational encounter will make a difference. A teenager who is quick to anger also needs lessons in self-control. It is one thing to evaluate the upsetting situation, but the self-control factors into the teenager's reaction. Teaching teen children to think before they act is imperative in anger management for teen children. Encouraging them to stop and think, take a few seconds between their initial feelings of anger and their reaction will certainly produce positive results. Self-awareness and self-control go hand in hand when involved in a provoking situation. Anger management for teen children teaches the individual to evaluate their emotions, the situation, and the actual reasons for the opposition. Taking a few seconds to mull these thoughts over in their mind will have an impact on their action or reaction. Dealing with teenagers who have anger problems can be a challenge, but there are many resources available regarding anger management for teen children. The internet is a great source or information regarding this subject. The process of teaching anger management strategies to teens may be a battle, but the rewards are worth the effort. If the challenge means a teenager is prevented from harm and pain, it is definitely worth it. Anger management programs offer individuals plenty of information regarding techniques and strategies for dealing with anger. Is there anger management therapy available for those who feel the need to take their treatment a step further? In the early 1970s, a psychiatrist named Aaron T. Beck, MD, developed anger management therapy focusing on problem solving. This therapy, initially called cognitive therapy, is now also known as cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT. Beck worked with patients for years using his psychiatric knowledge, but was burdened to see his patients' treatment making only slow progress. Beck wanted to use a more intense approach to anger management therapy. Cognitive therapy is a form of anger management therapy that helps a person to correct or change specific details in their thinking. These details, involving negative feelings, will likely lead to anger and cause behavioral problems. Beck realized that it is during the thinking process, negative thoughts are formed, which leads to changes in emotions and behavior. If an individual could be treated at this stage, helping them to change their way of thinking, then they would see changes in their emotions and behavioral pattern. Using strategies and techniques such as relaxation training and assertiveness training, CBT has proven to be a relatively fast method of providing an individual with relief and allowing them to experience freedom through endurance. Cognitive therapy has proven to be the most effective type of psychological treatment. Its popularity has spread worldwide and is used by many qualified professionals to treat individuals with behavioral difficulties such as anger. Literature about CBT is widely available, and there is training in CBT provided for professionals. Many people who suffer from anger-related issues avoid therapy. Some think they don't need it, and others see it as a sign of weakness. The opposite can actually be said of an individual who seeks anger management therapy. They are strong and determined, willing to take whatever measures necessary to make positive changes in their life. When a person gets to the point where they can admit they need anger management therapy, it is essential to find a therapist who makes them feel comfortable. It is important to be able to communicate easily with a therapist, since this is the person who will help reshape the individual's life. Building a trusting relationship with their therapist is vital when an individual is committed to therapy, no matter how long it takes. Being able to share emotions, whether good or bad, is important in anger management therapy. It is through sharing and trusting that a person begins to discover things about themselves. Once these discoveries are revealed, an individual will begin to work on making changes in their thoughts and emotions, which will lead to positive changes in their lives. Anger management therapy may seem tough initially, but with a trusting therapist, an individual will certainly make progress. This relationship between the individual and their therapist provides a safety zone, a place where they can feel free to disclose their innermost thoughts and inhibitions. Exploring underlying feelings of these thoughts will eventually provide the tools necessary for success. Anger management therapy, either CBT or meeting regularly with a therapist, is definitely beneficial for people striving to work through anger-related issues. Choosing anger management therapy is a big step and requires the support and encouragement from family and friends. Always remember, guys, that if we are able to control and manage our anger, there will be lasting peace on earth. Guys, if you find this video helpful, I will be grateful if you like, share and subscribe this channel, and please hit the notification bell so that you will be updated in all my incoming uploads and dazzling ideas.